Whalen's brother, built it.
Hold on. Justin, look good?
Yeah, no, that's,
Crazy stuff.
look at Justin. Like,
You're
all right, brother. All right. All right. Welcome everybody to, March, town board workshop here. Before we get started and get everybody right to the place, please. Susan, come on.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Straighten it up. Yeah, it took me forever to do it. All right, welcome, everybody. We got our town board here with us. I got Deputy Supervisor Steve Morrell, Councilwoman Sylvia Santiago, Councilman Charlie Bro, Councilman Michael Schwartz. Got the Highway Superintendent Anthony Fayos with us, our town clerk Patricia Clarino, and our town attorney Dave Zagon, our police chief Daniel Valeri, Justin's on the keyboard, and with us also Receiver Texas Sue Shadman. So we'll get right down to it. The first thing on the agenda here is, so I had I've actually seen it myself because I happen to go down to Dunkin' Donuts every morning, but this, I wasn't the one that reported this. One of the police officers that's on the traffic unit has noticed a pretty bad parking situation down on Erie. I'm sorry, the intersection of Caesars and 9W. So we covered 9W on the 9W portion in front of Dunkin' Donuts with no parking. The signs, some are up. They put bases on to add some more to cover more coverage. And then these places, I think everybody had some pictures of it. If not, you can see here, you see the tanker truck here pulls up, he pull up and they're either facing the wrong way or they park on the shoulder of the road and they obstruct the view and it gets cars backed up, the people going in there. So they asked, the police department asked if we can post some no parking signs between the entrance of Dunkin' Donuts and 9W on the south side of the road in order for them to write some tickets and warn some people in the beginning. So the officer sent an email to his command staff then had it looked into, and then we got an email from the deputy chief requesting that we put no parking signs on the southern shoulder of Caesars Lane, about 150 feet before the intersection of Route 9W.
Is there an accident there today?
There's today, I'm not certain.
I'm sure I saw one.
I don't, maybe. But if there was, it's on camera, I bet. But there is a number of accidents there. There definitely is. It's a dangerous intersection there. So they're requesting that. So that's going to be on the agenda to speak about on Wednesday to vote on to move on. So anybody has any questions or concerns or anything. But the police department does good with that, with the looking out for that stuff. So we appreciate them with that. Next item on the agenda is the ambulance agreement. So I was kind of hoping, and it's, I guess, my to blame because I like to overwhelm our law office. The ambulance agreement, we're gonna actually put on the agenda for Wednesday to approve it once it's complete. It's just about done. Dave just has to circle back with their attorney just for a couple quick asks, but there's a red line copy. Right now it's expired. It's only a 2-year agreement. It's gonna be a 2-year agreement that lines up basically with the supervisor's position, if you will. So that can be done every 2 years. But it's, there was really not a huge, from the old agreement we had, they just did some clean up some language stuff, nothing crazy. But once it's all formally redlined, I'll send it out to you folks when they're all done with it. But it's, again, it's just an agreement that we have between us and the ambulance corps, that we have. I do have a red line copy if anybody wants to see where we're at now with it. If you want to put eyes on it, you can. But that should be done within, I don't know, probably next week or so, Dave, right? Maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks before April. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do that. I know I was I'm gonna have a follow-on conversation unrelated to this one with Michael Big. I know they've been doing a lot of mutual aid calls for Highland, town of Highlands, Highland Falls.
Really? That far?
Yeah, so they've been doing some, the Highland Falls, they've been doing a lot of mutual aid calls. They've been either having some struggles with their ambulance corps, stuff like that. So Michael wants to have a more of a conversation between us and them and the board and so on and so forth. So with that, that's to come. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about that soon. So once we have any more, and if anybody want, like I said, I have this here. I'll send it to everybody once we get the.
Can you send that copy?
I will. Yeah, I
Okay,
can send you
okay.
this too. Yes, I can make a photocopy of it tonight for you. I just grabbed that today from her. Next item up here is on the agenda is for 2026 bonding stuff. So we did have a meeting. several weeks ago with the town, with the comptroller and our engineer and the law office and so forth, so on and so forth. So we're gonna be, there's a few things here we're gonna be bonding this year. And again, I do have the list for you, and I'll give you what's been authorized already for this year from what we did last year and what total bonding is gonna be out there for. An estimate for next year's, and I'll give it to you. I'll pass that around in a minute. But right now, like new, what we're talking about bonding is we're gonna do, Anthony's looking to do another, I think we're gonna call it a 3-year, paving plan, but the amount, I think it's 20, something like 27 miles or so. Yeah, so of town roads that we wanna, pave, do paving, so we're gonna do a 3-year bonding thing for $4 million. To do that stuff, which gonna be included in that is gonna be paving of the entire cemetery, which I think was like 11,000 square feet or so of that. There was some conversation with the buildings and ground supervisor, and he's gotta mull over a little more, but there may be a part of or a road or two in the cemetery that we're gonna actually abandon because it's just not necessary to have it where it is. And perhaps it could be used for, I don't know how that's gonna work, but used for future plots maybe one day. I know Calvary has done it. They're out of space. I think that's why they did it. We don't necessarily need to do it for space, but it would make sense for us to not have to, pave that portion of the roads when we really don't need them. They don't make much sense. So we'll get to that if we need to do that, but. Stewart Water Filter Plant is on here too, to do, perhaps do some bonding for the tanks up there. The water storage tanks, that'd be like a phase 1 of a water plant up there. We are gonna put in for congressionally funded money through Congressman Ryan's office. And I did see Dave today, I don't know if we are or not, I don't remember if it was brought up. I did see that Senator Scooper's office asked if we were planning on doing Gillibrand's. I don't know, I mean, I don't guess.
Same funding.
That's a thing, I don't know if we're just gonna try, I don't know if one takes away from the other if we do it, so.
I think we did both. last time.
But we may, so there's a chance that we do put in for both. We're gonna look for funding since the water is a hot topic. We look to do that. And there was another thing, we were talking about doing the Butterhill Wells for the permanent GAC. So as everybody knows down there, we have a temporary, granulated carbon system down there, that houses our vessels now. With us doing the new plan up on the airport, we need more of a permanent solution for redundant water down there. And again, it would just be for redundancy as far as I'm concerned, 1 of 5. We would have to make that more of a permanent solution. I think we're gonna try to look for some funding with that and see if we can lean on the state as well to see if we can make that more permanent for us. I know it's temporary being paid for and it was installed by the state. We're kind of hoping that we can get something out of them. They don't necessarily have to, but to be honest with you, I think the city of Newburgh kind of put a bad taste in the state's mouth about people doing permanent GAC systems and really not using them. So hopefully we can convince them that we need a more permanent solution. So that's going to be, it could be part of the bonding there. We did talk about a salt barn, which right now we're not going to do because it's far more than we thought it was going to be. So, and then again here, like right now, I will tell you, estimated to issue in June of 2026, we're talking about $86 million issuing in bonds. And this is obviously largely because of the wastewater treatment plant we're doing.
Sorry, which one is the one that you said that we're not gonna do?
The salt barn. So we talked about doing, so our salt barn up on the airport is getting up there in age with, as far as roof goes, and the new standards today, the DECs, they want you to be able to load the salt and fill your trucks all under cover now inside. We can't do that right now. We're lucky we can hold the salt in there right now. So we were looking at more of a better solution with that on the same footprint up at the airport. We thought it was far less than what it is, and the town of Newburgh, I think, is doing something similar to that. There is granting for it out there, but the granting's like, for a $7 million project, they give you like maybe $500,000 if you get that. So right now we were gonna pull that off of here. It's especially with the sewer plant, we're issuing bonds on, and then perhaps a newer water plant in the next coming years. So that we took off. But I'll give everybody copies of these too as well. These are the bond authorizations, and there are some that we're actually rescinding and pulling out, so. But I will have these for you guys. So this is just the bonding that we're gonna be looking forward for this year. Again, the big ones, the paving plan, the cemetery, some of the parks we're gonna look to do. San G needs a new parking lot. San G parking lot's awful.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the upper section of Christie Babcock Park, like the pavilion upper section, if you will. We're gonna look to pave that as well. I think, I don't know if that's gonna need some, that's just gonna be paving or is gonna need some, a little reconstruction there with some sinking going on in some spots, but. And then the sewer plants, our sewer water plant.
Yeah.
So that, I will share this with you guys on, once we clear this up and settle this. That's the bonding. Anybody any questions on that? No, nothing. Good with that? So I did put this on here, the peddling and vendor permit. I don't know if you, I think you guys all saw, there was an email sent from a woman, and I know we left it to you, for you guys, in reference to, she had a, she was she requested a review of our peddling and vendors permit. I don't know if she went through, did she go through you, Patty, too? No, I forget. So,
She may have emailed me originally.
yeah,
and I
she
forwarded it.
did. She emailed you in February, and she had a question. She wanted us to review it. She felt that the prices were exorbitant, that they were not fair, yeah, blah, blah, blah. She was really looking to do a some sort of a food truck, if you will. So I explained to her our, the history and the thoughts behind why we, we kind of really don't like and allow and enjoy food trucks in town. Especially on some dangerous spots. There's a few of them that predate us. Well, it's one of them, and that's Nick's Hot Dogs, if you will. I don't even know. I haven't seen that thing open in a while. But I sent her all the information on our code. And after I had a pretty lengthy conversation with her, she was like, okay, I get it. I think your code is okay, and we'll leave it at me. So she, after, like I said, I had this on here because she wanted to come and really speak at a board meeting and just kind of put up her objection to, our fees. And then after I explained to her why we did it, and why we instituted the larger fee, she understood it, and she kind of backed away and said that we didn't need to really talk about it much more. So that was it on the vending permit fee. So that won't need to be changed. We're gonna keep that the same there. This notice of claim. So the reason I put this on here was that it's just that notice of claim. This has to do with we were served notice of claims because as far as all you guys know, we've changed. We've instituted the planning rule now that we don't want to have projects longer than 3 years laying around because it's just not fair to us, infrastructure planning and stuff like that. So we instituted a new rule. You're only allowed to do so many extensions, and after 3 years, you have to file a new permit. Well, lo and behold, we had a couple. We had a project, 2 projects actually. Give us a notice of claim because they feel that they didn't like the way that we changed the laws and how there wasn't proper notification, if you will. Like we did the proper notification as far as I'm concerned through the internet and the newspapers and all that stuff, but they just didn't like it. So one being Benedict Pond, which is and Legacy Woods is the other one. Legacy Woods is the 100 and let me see here. Notice the claim. Legacy Woods is one that's was a 2008 application. That's an 18-year-old application. The other one's Benedict Pond, and that is 19-year application. Benedict Pond's right now started out as a senior housing project in 2007 and ended up being now a 220 multi-unit condos. So that, like I said, they're filing a notice of claim with us. I did actually have a conversation with their attorney the other day who wants to come and sit down and talk to us before they, go crazy deep on it. I explained to him our concern, listen, it's, one's 19 years old and the other's 18 years old. How do we plan? Traffic is different now. Our infrastructure, sewer, everything. So, he, I think there is, I think Benedict Pond, if you ask me, and again, it's something I believe Benedict Pond actually filed a new application, so that may be a moot point. And the other one, they feel that the town just, didn't act in a speedy enough manner. So again, I just wanted to throw out there that we did enact a new law, obviously, several months ago, and now, people are contesting it. And I just think that hopefully we'll settle that before it goes to an actual lawsuit. But we're on it. And I think the goal here is to get either build, or if they get approved and you don't want to build them, then get out and move on. And that's not that hard. So the next one on the is the solar code update. So we do have a public hearing, obviously, Wednesday on the solar code. This is the vote, basically vote the battery storage out. I know I think everybody's got the memo from I think it's my office, but I know I sent it to everybody in reference to us moving forward with this. I think it's a good idea. There's been a whole ton of issues with it nationally, if you will. We did have the county comment on it. So although their comments are advisory, I guess we appreciate that, but we do have to send this to the county, and the county come out with some advisory comments. In the very beginning of the comments, this department has received the above referenced zoning amendment and has found no evidence that the significant intermunicipal or countywide impacts would result from its approval. We would like to offer the following advisory comments. So and I don't get it, it's frustrating. It says, we question the proposed 500-foot minimum setback for freestanding and ground-mounted solar power accessories. Well, apparently these people that give their opinion on this don't live in New Windsor and don't have a solar farm in their backyard. So I think it's purposely done 500 foot, in my opinion, to keep it out of people's backyards and don't make them stare at solar panels. So they just says to approve site plans of solar farms and solar power plants, such as large minimum setbacks, may severely limit available sites that are visible for such systems. Yeah, that's the purpose of it, especially because many of the large parcels are located in Stewart State Forest, which is another issue. Terrigen wanted to come here. Other parcels that meet the 25-acre minimum have environmental constraints or lot layouts that meet 25-acre minimum environmental constraints or lot layouts that result in small buildable areas. Then the required acreage we're increasing from 15 to 25. We question the proposed minimum lot size 25 acres for freestanding and ground-mounted solar power systems, accessories to approved site plans. The fact that these are accessory uses indicate that such systems are likely to be considered small in solar farms or solar power plants. So we're going from 15 to 25 minimum acres. They want us to keep it at 15, if you will. To me, again, that's why you see solar farms tucked all around town, all over the place. These folks are just dumping them wherever they can. And the frustrating part to me is that it's all, fine and great. They put them up. The good part of it, it's not a really strain on our infrastructure. There's not a traffic concern with them. But, they do leave us a decommissioning bond, and nobody knows what the decommissioning is really going to cost 25 years from now. We take, 100,000 from them just to throw a number out there. And by the time the decommission, it could be 750,000. Now what? Now who's stuck with that? Us. And they have, each solar company, I've noticed that when we've been dealing with them, have 25 LLCs. So they keep transferring stuff. So I don't know, for me, I think there's starting to be an eyesore between that and storage bin. So the county commented on it, as far as I'm concerned, okay, thank you for your advice, but I take it as advisory such as that. I think our plan to do what we're doing with this it's worthwhile. And I think, and again, it regulates the battery storage. And I think it's a good thing. I think the battery storage as everybody sees, has been a headache for all. So
I agree.
Anybody got anything on that? No, we're good.
Great.
This is that John Street thing we've been dealing with. The house on John Street. It's the one that actually has a burned out roof on it. Yeah. So I know I was actually talking with Jess the other day, and I think everybody's got the pictures on this, right? Everybody didn't see it. You want to see it?
I just want to comment, it's 136, right? Not 13.
Yeah, it's
This one
136.
says,
Yeah, there was a new one put out.
Yeah.
But it's 136, John. They we had our engineer go out. He deemed it unsafe structure. He the question is that apparently the county has got, this is in their pipeline to maybe take over for taxes one day. But I will tell you, there's several houses in town that the county, we had spoke to the tax department out there and they said, listen, we don't know how long it's going to take. By the time they're done with the paperwork and goes to the judge and people sign off on it and they keep it, it could be years from now. ultimately, at the end of the day, this, this house gets taken down. And quite frankly, there's two houses that are probably four houses apart down on John Street that absolutely, I wouldn't want to live next to them. One literally has their entire roof off of it, which is this one we're talking about. And the other one has the whole soffit hanging down over top of the sidewalk. It's just, it looks like hell, and I think it should come down. We would take it down, obviously, we'd go out to bid for it, we take it down at our expense, and then it basically goes on the taxes. And whoever buys the property or gets it will end up losing the money in that. So they deemed it, we have to do our next part here to authorize for Wednesday for our next step for it to have it removed. And that's where we're at. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything they want to see. It'd be worth, just driving down John Street if you haven't, to see some of those two homes in there. Just, I feel bad for the people who live there, honestly, have to live with that.
I was there today, I agree.
Yeah, it's awful, so. So the Hudson Valley SPCA up there on 207, I'm sure everybody knows that they're in the midst of a sale. And they're gonna be leaving, going out to, I think it's Montgomery, out to a farm out there. They have always been our go-to for animals when we have them in our shelter. I guess to be fair, they've been busy with their sale and doing their stuff, so it's been challenging for us to get rid of dogs, if you will. They have a business, obviously, and part of their business is to have some agreements with towns to come up with some plan or a contract for towns to contract with them, like say, just for argument's sake, I don't know, I'm waiting. I thought she was gonna give me a contract today, but she hasn't, but we need to act on it sooner rather than later because I think they have a closing in the next month or so. And they're gonna be fully gone. And then we really have no place, once we have the dogs, we have no place to really to take them, if you will. The town of Newburgh helped us out months and months ago. I just found out the other day that they still had the dog that they helped us out, but they just adopted it out finally, but it's been there for like 3-4 months. And the deal was that if they didn't adopt it out and their kennel became full, we had to take it back. So we can't live like this. So we have to have some sort of a deal with somebody. So the ASPCA is going to give us an agreement that we would sign with them if we all agree on it for a yearly fee of if we have a dog that we can't, if we can't locate the owner and we can't adopt it out, that the ASPCA will take it for us. Which I will tell you, the amount of money that we spend on overtime for our animal control to have to babysit these for weeks at a time, on weekends and nights, is probably going to be worth us having an agreement. And I think, even though she does work a lot of overtime and she does help us out a lot, I think she'd be thankful that we did something. She didn't have to do that and spend her summer weekends here doing that. So I'm waiting for that agreement. As soon as I get that, I'll send it to you folks. Again, I thought I was going to have it today and I didn't. So Stacy sent us a memo or sent me a memo, concerned about it, that when they're going to be out of there. So I think it's going to be, I think by April 1st, they're going to be out of the building.
So what's the procedure if we get a dog? What's the plans to avoid, Tracy having to spend extra time with the dog and so forth? So what's the plan? So it comes in, by when would the
So we got to keep it
agreement
for
kick in?
5 days. And then what we do is we get it. Stacy cares for it. We take it to Flannery's and make sure it's up to date with its shots and everything. If it's not sick or has no health issues, the police department does what they have to do. I will tell you, we just got a dog the other day. We notified the police department. I called them. They actually sent an officer down and did a little investigation, and come to find out they found the owner a block over. So, with a little police work, with our police department, they do a good job with locating the people we have to. And they find them. If we can't, we have to hold it for 5 days before we can put it up for adoption. We put it up for adoption. We give it a little time to see if we can adopt them out. And if not, then we would, turn them over to them. They obviously adopt them in a no-kill shelter as well, which is a good thing. So they adopt them out as well. But, at a minimum, if there is no owner, a lot of people are obviously been dumping a lot of dogs around here. The one beauty about us is A, we got a proactive police department that tracks them down, and B, that nobody can come in and out of this town without being caught on camera. So when they do, and they got the dog on their lap or the dog sticking out the window of the car and it goes back out and it doesn't have the dog, well, then that's how we find you. So we do catch a lot of people like that. So they've been dumping dogs in area towns, and they've been trying to stay away from us. So, but yeah, we keep them for a little bit. We try, and Stacy tries to adopt them out. when Patty gets involved, they all start crying and then we'll see something happen to the dog. And so,
One.
yeah, exactly. They all, and then they'll start taking them all home and doing, but yeah, no, so hopefully that agreement's gonna be around the corner soon, next day or so. And just make it easier for us to put the dogs up someplace. Next thing on here is the hotel motel tax. So, we do have a public hearing on Wednesday so as you all know, we went through legislation, we did the whole thing through the government, we did it proper, and now we have to, pass a local law to enact this, to start it. Once we came out with everything, I decided to, just to be transparent and to be fair, I wanted to send all this to, all the people, all the hotel and motel owners in New Windsor. I sent them all certified copies. They had to sign for them. They all signed for them. They read them. I've had a couple inquiries. I will tell you one. I had this guy, Mark Dorr. He's the president of New York State Hospitality and Tourism Association. He sent a letter to me. I think to all the board. I got it on February 24th. I called Mark when I got it. I actually called him back today. And when I called him, he said, I've been doing this for 30 years. And he goes, I've never, ever had a town supervisor call me ever. He goes, you're the first one. Well, I called him back today. He goes, I was just telling everybody how you called me and you had a good conversation. So I had a good conversation with the guy. I told him, where we were at and where I felt why we wanted to do this and what we were looking to do. He understood. He was contacted. He really wouldn't get into who he was contacted by. One or two of the motel owners, if you will, in town. So he did say, I did ask him, and I think everybody was able to put eyes on this.
Yeah.
I did ask him, he did say in here that New Windsor would rank amongst the highest in the country, which I thought was kind of laughable because I'm like, wow, New Windsor is going to be like the highest tax people.
Top 5.
So
Yeah.
I after reading this, and I'm like, where is he says, according to the industry research from HVS, the cumulative rate would place the town of New Windsor amongst the top 5 highest taxed lodging markets in the United States. I'm like, whoa, man, we're big time here. So I called him back today. I said, can you give me where this is, the link? So he gives me the link and the data today. And I'm looking at it, and this is the whole report here. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not certain where he got this. And again, he's a super nice guy. I'm glad I had a conversation with him. But if you guys want to read this, you can. It's got to be, I don't know, it's got to be 40 pages or so. And I don't even think we're in the top 250. So I don't know where he was getting his numbers from. And the reason I say that, because what I kind of think is a bit comical is that the town of Walk Hill has it. The town of Newburgh has it. There are several towns and cities and villages in Orange County that have it, that don't, that some people institute it and have it and get the tax, and some people have it prepared and ready to go up. They have to pass a local law. And I will tell you that out of all the people that have it, there is no, we're not even on 5 in the county, let alone 5 in the country. So it was kind of like, I think he tried, well, after talking to him, he goes, yeah. So the Orange County does it itself. Orange County has a 5% tax on hotel motels. I did notice there was a lot of counties in the state that actually the county imposes the hotel tax and forbids each town, city, or village to do it themselves. Orange County doesn't have that. You're allowed to do it. So therefore, I'll tell you, City of Newburgh does it. The town of Newburgh does it. Walk Hill does it. Village of Goshen does it. Some of these, Village of Highland Falls, Village of Greenwood Lake, town of Montgomery, town of Highlands, town of Warwick, some of these people have it authorized, but have not imposed it yet, the taxes. So there's, probably 5 or 6 already in the county that do it here. So we're far from that. My opinion, I'll give you a for instance. Banta, we're doing this hotel that they're looking to do this Holiday Inn Express or whatever it is up on 300. They just went to IDA. They're going to get a 10-year tax incentive. So from the IDA. So, and then they're worried about us putting a 5%, so $150 room with $7.50. is they're worried about us putting a $7.50 tax on it when we're beating up the taxpayers from all the incentives they're getting. So, me personally, I'm not quite, concerned about it. I think it's something we should do. I did put together just a couple of things on my opinion, and then I'll let you guys talk. I do support that, visitors should support local services. We have our police and emergency services that are there, road maintenance, infrastructure. A lot of these people go to parks and stuff like that in town when they're coming here and visiting. I think they should, that's their part of their freight. I feel to do it. This is going to be for Airbnb, short-term rentals, glamping sites that they're looking to do out in the West End. So there, and any transient lodging and stuff like that. So I think it's a good thing. Another thing they tell you to keep up the pace with the surrounding municipalities is exactly what we're doing. Town Newbury, Walk Hill, Cornwall has it. I don't know if they enacted it, the local law yet. I know they have it. They're building a new hotel now. I think they're going to be on Main Street, right?
Yeah.
So I still think it's a minimal impact. My opinion, and I guess it's not a secret that is a revenue. It's a revenue generator for us, and I think it's forward thinking by us to pursue. So this is another revenue generating thing. Do I think that people are going to get on the Hilton site and say, "Oh, $750, I can't do that. I'm not going to New Windsor now." I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly don't. My opinion. But I don't know. That's just my. I think it's a fairness and fiscally responsible. Our residents shouldn't shoulder the burden of all visitors or utilities. It's a modest 5% increase to those who do short-term rentals and lodging facilities and so forth for public safety services in New Windsor. We're a welcoming community, and I just think it's a fair thing. So I will probably venture to say I did talk to two of the hotel owners in New Windsor here. We had a good conversation. I think they felt, they understood where I was coming from and what our thought was. So, I don't know. It's going to be on Wednesdays. It's a public hearing and it'll be up for a vote. I don't know how you guys feel or what anybody's thoughts were. I know we originally pushed for this to have it done, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're at the finish line right now with it. Again, with these, some people, they don't have a problem with putting in for pilots and everything, but now when they have to pay, we have to take a little away from their revenue, they're gonna now complain. It's kind of frustrating to me a bit, but just my thoughts and feelings. Anybody else? No?
Put it in.
Well, they're just gonna push it to the
buyer.
yeah.
I mean, it definitely gets pushed on the consumer, but listen,
Not like it's coming out of there.
I get it. I think there's just saying that, if, the county does a 5% hotel tax and the town does it and, they have to increase their rooms. I have not seen, and there are some concerns. We have a bunch of overnight lodging places in New Windsor that actually have Orange County or DSS people in them. They're not required to pay the 5%. If the county's paying, if the county's paying for somebody to be lodging, they don't have to pay that. We've had a number of issues the last couple of weeks in some of the hotels with some issues with police involvement that have been, that are time consuming. We had put a lot of effort into it, and I guess for that they pay the extra $5 on the room towards New Windsor, and that's my feeling.
I go to a place in Florida and the price is never the same. The price is different every time I go.
Yeah.
So, like, what are we talking about? Like, it could be more because of any other reason.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's like I said, we're only making it, I don't know, the people, the town of Newburgh saying, "Oh, let's go to New Windsor," because they don't have a $5 extra fee on their hotel rooms. I don't think so. I think they're going there to stay there, and I think we're going to capture. Matter of fact, I had not only is Banta building, I just got contacted by another developer who wants to put a 100-room hotel now up on the airport on our side and purchase a piece of land from New Windsor. So he's aware of this. He's not going to not build his hotel because of it. So.
Because he's also gonna look for an IDA, agreement.
Well,
So, if this recaptures part
Well,
of it,
that's actually not true,
no?
because
Okay.
I told him that if he plans on doing an IDA application, then I'm not selling him the property.
Okay,
So that'll be in the contract. That
Okay.
if he plans on building a 100-room hotel, it won't be with a pilot. The only
Okay.
pilot he's gonna have is the guy that flies him in here to it.
all right.
So he said, he goes, "No, I'm good with that. No, not a problem." I said, "Yeah, I'm not into that. We're not doing that stuff." So, yeah, and I agree with you that, folks that would look for the, and I don't need to incentivize more hotels. We don't need, we don't need to do that. So, but they're still willing to build it. So,
Well, there's demand. There's a demand for
There
them.
is, yeah, there is. But, also, we have demands too. We have put $110 million sewer plant in, It's
No, but
just-
they're not, they're not like build it and they will come. It's like there's an amount needed based on the statistics of what's being rented at
Yeah.
Homewood right now. So, it's gonna be what it is. People are coming. That's it.
I think our airport's in the beginning stages of it being a true airport. I mean, I really
Mhm.
think, we got the pharmaceutical company coming, we have good things coming here, and I really think it's the beginning of it, so. I think it'll work for us.
I think it's fine.
Next thing on the agenda is the Little Falls Park walking path, so, I've been dealing with this Passaic Creek Alliance and all these open space people, which I think is a pretty cool, plan what they want to do. I know for the last several years, they've been dealing with property owners between the river on River Road all the way to Crystal Lake and to the city of Newburgh, and us in between and so forth. We're trying to link a walking path up and trails and take dams down so the fish can swim and a whole bunch of stuff. Nobody can get it done. Nobody what property owner doesn't want to give off this and who doesn't want to give that? So, they and I can see that one of their easier ready sites that would benefit our people here in Windsor too would be Little Falls Park, as far as there's two little ponds there. We'll call it a fishing hole, we'll call it walking trails around the Little Falls Park. There's a few things that need to be done in order for some people to put some money towards it. So I know Scenic Hudson wants to really put in some money for us to make this a nice little trail around it. Really, it's gonna go from Bradford to Walsh through the woods, if you will. And it connects to Rochetti if we wanted to. More so around the pond there with a walking trail, a couple benches and so on. Scenic Hudson won't focus on us with money wise yet, because right now, all of that property down there, believe it or not, is all zone residential. So it's not zone parklands.
Yeah.
So in order for them to put money into us on a more permanent base like this, they needed to be zone parklands, which I'm good with. I think at some point, I know David's on here because we got more alienation going on for the last 37 years here. But I'm good with at some point us making this or giving them some sort of guarantee that this will be parklands on our end. But they won't pour money into that particular project until it's changed to parklands, or we give them some sort of guarantee that it will be changed to parklands. I've said to our buildings and grounds guys can help shape there's a lot of trails back there now that are pretty much delineated, got a little some overgrowth to it that we certainly can clean up, if you will. I don't think it's a heavy lift at all. But it's something that they're looking to kind of fast track for us. No, so out of this entire project that they've been working on the last 15 years, I think New Windsor is going to be their first one, and probably the only one for a long time to come to really come through with a nice little path for us to walk and I think if everyone remembers when we put out our when we did a recreation survey, one of the top things were walking trails for New Windsor. So we're gonna do Christie Backyard Park and then probably down here too. So we're gonna you're gonna see kind of twofold. You'll see probably some letters going back and forth of support with Scenic Hudson and Crusade Creek, and then at some point you'll see us trying to focus on making this parklands. I don't know if it's as simple as us just giving it the blessing and it's parklands, or if we got to do some legitimate stuff here. So, but whatever it takes, we're gonna probably do that. So that's gonna be in the coming months. You'll see that going a little more there. And the last thing here was, so I don't know if you remember, I made the Fox Hill Run development out in the west end there. So we're gonna do, so when that whole property was all done, the town was, I say we were gifted. The town was given some property out there, a few spots, but when you go in, the main entrance is ours, if you will, and on the right-hand side, when you pull in, it's like a 6.5 acre lot. That's, I'm gonna say at least 5 acres of it, at the very least, is useless to us. There's a old barn silo on it. There's some wetlands there, and some of the wetlands is because of drainage and stuff. But there's a good chunk of it that we certainly don't need, that's kind of landlocked, if you will, between the entrance and wetlands. There's a gentleman that lives right there that wants to purchase a portion of that for us for his use to do whatever he wants to do. He wants the silo. I don't know why, but he wants to Maybe he wants to start a farm or something, I don't know, but he wants to, so there was a barn there that was taken down by them, by the property owner when they were doing Fox Hill, and then they left that silo up there. That silo's on our property and it's ours right now. I'd rather not have the responsibility of keeping it, and it's gonna be expensive to take it down. And this gentleman wants to keep that there because he wants it for whatever reason he wants to do, I don't know.
Does the person live there?
So he lives on the property adjacent to the
Okay.
gas. So he's looking to just, I don't know if he's gonna do a lot line change and make his property bigger, or if we gotta make this an extra SBL, but we're meeting with the gentleman soon. Okay, so probably next week, we're gonna meet with him. The reason I say is because we're gonna authorize, we have to spend $4,000 on. So for a land survey, so we have to have it surveyed, although we reached out to this guy, Gary Rich. Gary's a land survey who actually surveyed that entire subdivision up there. So he has pretty much it done.
Mhm.
He's charging us the $4,000 and quite frankly, this is gonna be a pass through. If we sell that to this gentleman, that $4,000 will be added on to his sale price for this. But the $4,000 for us to do this, quite frankly, I think we're gonna wait to talk to him. Just before we pull the trigger on this, we're gonna authorize the sale of the spending of it. But if he comes in and says, I only want, a third of an acre of it, then, I might switch gears with him and say, listen, it's 5 acres or nothing or something, so. But this is just to approve the sale of, not a sale of it, but to do survey and come to some middle ground with this property, hopefully get rid of it. And it is landlocked and it's really of no use to us. And I want the silo going. Anybody got anything else or no? I just wanted to bring up that, I know we did an announcement, but everybody saw that, Pauline Townsend had passed their town clerk there from years and years ago, so I did go to the wake. Her family's very appreciative. The town sent flowers to her. But she
Thank you.
had 37 years of service here in town, so she was actually on the board when I got hired here back in '89, so, but that, she passed, and we appreciate everybody that sent flowers and thoughts and emails and everything. And to end it, I just want to say, Chief, thank you. The police department, I don't know if everybody saw the press release that went out today.
Yeah, I was
They had
gonna
that
ask you.
burglary.
Yeah.
Where was it?
They had that burglary over by Kathy's house over on Garden, right? And these police department did, I think led by Detective Lebarsky and the detective division and all our partners, they did what they had to do. And again, don't come to New Windsor and commit a crime because we are gonna catch you. So I say they, and they did a nice job. The police department really, stepped up and did a search warrant, grabbed this guy. And we appreciate everything they did. So Keith, good job by your men there. We appreciate it. Yeah, no, definitely. They did a nice job with that, so that's a good thing. And what do you guys got? Anything?
No.
Michael, Sylvia, no?
Okay.
Steve? Want to spin the paper a little more? or-
You ready?
Yeah, so what do you got for me?
Okay, I would like to make a motion
Yes.
to go to executive session to interview a candidate for the police department, but also, is this all right? Okay, we're gonna talk about something, but I don't know what, with the zoning board of appeals and information technology.
Yes.
Can I
Yes.
get a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, can I have a
I'll second
second?
that.
Okay, great.
Roll call.
Roll call, Patty.
Councilman Schwartz.
Yeah.
Councilman Bro.
Yes.
Councilman Santiago.
Yes.
Councilman Morale.
Yep.
Supervisor Sims.
Yes. Oh, and just before you go up too, we did have two pretty decent storms, and Anthony, you guys did a good job.
Great job.
Yeah,
Anthony.
yeah.
They did a good
Yeah.
job. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
want to say, I know,
Yeah.
the people, it's funny, I do get a kick every once in a while watching the internet. It's like, where are the trucks? And then people are like, shut up, it's a Sunday. And then next thing the truck is by, here they come. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, but honestly, at the end of the day, when you get, 2 feet of snow, it's, if we knock down, half dozen mailboxes, we're sorry, we don't mean it, but it is what it is, and we'll be back to fix it.
Well, in a place where all the naysayers live, because it's nice to live anonymous and have a keyboard. I saw many positive.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was teamwork. I would tell you,
Definitely.
Good job.
the police department, if you're listening, they were out there, prior to the storm, moving cars, had, a lot of people in cars moved. I think the last storm, I don't think they had any impounds, but they had a bunch of tickets. But they did their part, the highway guys, so we're a well-oiled machine here. I'm not, just not me, but the workers are, so we do appreciate it, thank you.
Are we ready for tomorrow?
Yes.
Have enough salt, that's the question, right?
Did you see next week? It's like 75 degrees.
Yeah,
man.
tomorrow.
All the heaving will start coming back down, right?
All right, Chester, we're good, thank you. I appreciate everybody, thank you.
Thank you, great. It's candy, come on, let's go.